Yo, what's up boys and girls? Den her video laver jeg lige akkurat nu her, hvor jeg lige har set, at Riot har udgivet den her nye video omkring League of Legends 2024, hvordan det kommer til at se ud. Jeg er totalt hyped, så jeg tænkte egentlig bare, at jeg vil smække videoen på, sidde og reagere på den, og så ser vi, hvad der sker. Vi skal lige selvfølgelig tjekke, at den har den højeste kvalitet. Lad os starte den.
Out with the old, in with the new. Welcome one of
Ud med det gamle, ind med nyt, fair nok. Hvad sker der for det lille, mand? Så Scotland
all of season 2024. We've got quite a few changes to share, from terrain adjustments to new monsters and items. Ready to see what's coming? Let's get into it.
Map change, okay. Nyt map.
Wait, where are we? Oh, it's top lane. These walls are different, and would you look at that? The brush is now in the middle of the river.
Wow, der er en busk midt i floden. Flot lavet.
That'll make for a trickier gank path from jungle, so you top laners can focus more on your lane opponent instead of hungry junglers. We've got terrain changes across the entire map actually. Like in mid lane, the brush is farther back from the lane now, and we've adjusted the walls to both red and blue side for better symmetry. Overall, these adjustments should make it a little safer to
What? What?
Play a variety of champions in mid lane.
Hvad sker der for den er så langt frem?
Mages with zero dashes. Speaking of safety, we've also changed the walls opposite Baron and Dragon Pit for a bit more security while you're...
Så man kan ikke løbe direkte ned på dragen faktisk, så man skal udenom den her væg her. Det er crazy nok.
Moving between lanes through the jungle. Finally, in bot lane, there's a new gank path on red side to make the map more symmetrical. We've also shifted the brush to the middle of the river, so both teams can more reasonably fight for vision control. Look.
What? Okay, så den er i midten, men der er ikke den der længere hen mod den defensive del, kan man sige, fra topside. Okay.
Alive down.
Det bliver meta changer. Nye monstre!
New jungle paths aren't the only thing to keep your eye on this season. A new void monster has found its way to the rift. During the early game, a camp of 3 void grubs will now spawn inside the Baron Pit. When you attack the grub, smaller void mites appear to join the fight. Killing...
What? Void monster. Jeg vidste, det var lille void.
One of the void grubs grants a permanent buff to your entire team that deals damage over time when attacking turrets. For every grub you slay, the buff becomes more powerful.
What? Okay, så de har fjernet Shelly, og så lige giver de os en buff i stedet for, så man kommer tid smadrer mere på tower. Okay.
After the first 3 grubs are killed, 3 more will spawn a few minutes later. If your team manages to kill all 6, then you unlock the maximum buff. When you attack a turret, you'll apply the damage over time and spawn some void mites of your own to help take it down. Keep in mind that these grubs are an incremental camp, not all or nothing. So slaying even one can give your team a small boost and keep the enemy from collecting all 6.
Okay, det er måske lidt mere... Okay, det kommer en rift her. What? Jeg synes, jeg siger mere balance, men...
At 14 minutes, any remaining grubs disappear, and the beloved Rift Herald enters the game with a fresh new look.
What? Okay, vent. Så er der både de her små monstre, hvor man kan få en buff over 6 gange til at smadre mere på towersne. Så er der også en Rift Herald. Jeg går ud fra, at der så kun er 1 i stedet for 2, så var der før i metaen. Så der var rimelig big at få Rift Herald for de her plates. Men så nu er der både små monstre, en Rift Herald, og så går jeg ud fra en Baron. Crazy.
Maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's the hideously vile influence of the void from whence they came. If you slay the Herald, you can summon them as before to march down lane and whack turrets.
Ja, det kender vi som sidst.
Or, any member of your team can hop on board to play Summoner's Drift, steering the monster as they charge forward like a battle sled. Ramming Herald into a turret this way deals some extra damage, and you can run into enemy champions to damage and knock them up. On collision with terrain or a turret, the driver pops out nearby, and the ability to steer goes on cooldown. This cooldown...
No, så man kan styre Shelly! Man kan styre... Ikke Shelly, jo, Shelly! Hyped! Man kan styre Herald, man!
Resets if you hit a turret, but takes longer if you hit a wall. All aboard the Shelly demolition train. Now let's talk about... What was that?
No! Baron har 3 hoveder.
Baron Nashor, Voidborn Tyrant of the Rift, is back and badder than ever before. When he enters the game, you'll know it. Baron takes one of 3 forms when he emerges. Each form provides the same classic buff, but alters how he fights and determines the shape of his pit. But wait, there's more. With Baron's entrance, the Void's influence spreads across the map, infusing the Scuttle Crab, Brambleback, and Sentinel with dark power.
Det bliver totalt Void, man.
Voidborn Scuttle Crab becomes tankier and tougher to kill. On death, she sends out a massive burst like a Scryer's Bloom, revealing all enemy champions and wards in a large area. Bet you didn't see that coming. Likewise, the Voidborn red and blue buff require a little more muscle to take down, but in exchange, they grant the buff to every teammate who's alive at the time.
No way! Så red buff giver buff til hele teamet, som er i live, lidt ligesom en Baron buff, hvis det er kun dem, der er i live, der får det. Crazy!
So no more fighting over who gets blue buff, alright? Speaking of cool new buffs, let's talk Infernal Rift. All versions of the Elemental Rift have been refreshed to accommodate the new base terrain, with Mountain Rift losing a few walls that didn't quite fit anymore. But we've changed up Infernal Rift completely. We don't have gameplay footage quite ready at this time, so let me paint you a word picture. Instead of a burned out fire escape, Infernal Rift will scatter infernal cinders all across the map. Picking up these cinders gives a small burst of move speed and a stat buff. On death, half your collected cinders explode out for others to snag for themselves. I mean, you weren't using them anymore, right?
Okay, der er ikke så mange chains der. Det er fair nok. Fair nok.
As in years past, we've made some item adjustments for this new season. Like, a lot of adjustments. For one, mythic items are out. Gone. Poop.
A mythic item gone? Det var fandme fast. Shit.
In their place, we're adding, removing, and updating a bunch of items across several champion classes. Mages, assassins, tanks, enchanters, fighters, and marksmen will all notice quite a few changes when they gear up this season. For example, the new Storm Surge for those AP assassins and burst mages who really want to shock the enemy. In addition, we've overhauled the support quest items. Supports now have a singular item they pick up at the start of the game with minimal stats. You earn gold with this item by executing minions of any type for a flat amount, or hitting enemy champions with abilities or attacks. At the middle tier, you unlock refilling wards as before. And when you reach the final tier, you can choose between several upgraded items to suit your playstyle. Whether you prefer protecting your carry or more aggressive support pack.
Okay, meget nemmere. Der er et skide fucking support item, man skal købe nu her. Og så kan man opgradere det til, hvilken spillestil man køber. Meget nemmere.
Tactics, we've got you covered. While you're running around the new map with new monsters and new items, you should keep an eye out for old grudges. We've added a handful of champion quests that will trigger when certain champs are in the same game. Defeating your quest rival on the enemy team will grant a tiny buff. While it won't significantly impact the game, it'll be a nice reward for your Renekton mains to finally stick it to Nasus.
Det er bare troll, det der. Det er bare et kæmpe troll.
Any of the changes we've made this year are aimed at making gameplay mechanics and systems easier to understand. This goal includes a lot of adjustments mentioned previously, or smaller changes like simplified tooltip language. We also just want to make it feel better to be on the Rift. Listen closely and you might notice the music changing throughout the game based on where you are or what you're doing. Baron boss music, anyone?
Så nu musikken hjælper dig også til ligesom at forstå, hvor du er henne af på mappen.
And now you can celebrate or commiserate with your teammates in a language everyone understands, the fist bump. Okay, that was a lot to cover. In summary, new terrain means new gank paths in every lane, Void Grubs are now a thing, you can now drive the Rift Herald into battle, Baron looks scarier, and the Void is everywhere. Infernal Rift is totally changing, there's a bunch of new items, some champs are bringing their beef onto the Rift, and fist bumps explode into sparkles and fireworks. Phew, got all that? Good. If you want all the nitty-gritty details, we unpack everything in the article linked below. So study up, friends, and we'll see you in January when season 2024 kicks off.
Let's go! 2024! Let's go! Hvad sker der for Herald kan fucking drive? Du kan bare drive-by med Heralden. Hop ind i det Herald, og så bare fyr dig ud af. Damn! Der kommer til at være nogle highlights plays. Fuck, hvor fedt. Ej, det bliver grineren. Jeg er altså en lille smule hype nu for 2024 i LoL. 100% vi skal have noget gameplay her på kanalen. Husk at like og subscribe. Og jeg håber, at den her video var bare lidt nyttig. Men nice, jeg var nødt til at opdage det. Jeg var så hype. Let's go!